Hello, and welcome to the Therap Excel Compatibility webinar. My name is Stephanie Benson, and I'll be leading you through this webinar today. As you can see, I have pulled up the Therap Excel Compatibility document. This is a PDF that I've sent out to everyone. If you still need access to it, please let me know. So as you can see, your Therap dashboard should look something like this. And then when you get into this dashboard, you'll go to Agency Reports, and then follow by going to Report Library and clicking on View. Once you click on View, you'll see this next page. In this next page, under Report Name, enter GER Report, and then you're going to scroll down. It'll show you a list of options, and one of your options should be GER Report, Comprehensive Report, Injury, Restraint, Other, and Death. And that's the one that you want to click on. That'll give you a page that looks something like this, and at the top of the page it'll say Export to Excel. You'll click on Export to Excel, and that'll give us the output that we need in order to get it into our compatibility notebook. So the first thing that we need to do then is we actually need to enter our data into Therap in another way so that we can easily pull and extract that information from the Excel spreadsheet and put it into a different one. So as you enter your information into about your behavioral incident into the GER form in Therap, there's a section that allows for information to be entered about what happened before the event. This is where you would enter an antecedent from the antecedent list in the Therap Compatibility Notebook, which is this. This is an Excel spreadsheet that has different lists. So for this one, under antecedent, you would pick one of these antecedents. Now, of course, this can be individualized and changed so that it can be useful for your organization. So if you need help doing that, please let me know, and I'm happy to help make these forms more compatible and individualize them for your own organization. So under antecedent, you would click or select one of these options. So for example, we chose peer interaction. You would simply write peer interaction. No other information should be added at this point. So then you would continue filling out your GER form, your behavioral incident. The next section you want to pay attention to is the summary section. So under the summary section, what you're going to do is you're simply going to provide a brief description of the behavior. So here is a list of the behaviors that you might want to be tracking as more lower level behaviors, as opposed to those that you fill out a 245D incident report form for. Again, this can be changed and individualized for your own organization to make it as useful as possible. We can add behaviors. You can see here we have definitions, including examples and non-examples of what that behavior, for example, verbal threats might look like. It would be a person that delivers a verbal message that includes unwanted sexual language, threatening language, abusive language, or use of words in an inappropriate way in inappropriate contexts. So some examples of that might be swearing loudly in inappropriate contexts, giving verbal threats such as "I'm going to beat you up." A non-example might be swearing while joking with friends in one's homes or at appropriate times at work. So at that point, you have now your behavioral incident. The next section that you want to pay attention to is in writing about the corrective actions taken. This is the space where staff can write everything they want to about the behavior. And then after that, you're going to look at future corrective actions taken. And this is where, for now, we're going to put the motivation of the challenging behavior. Use only the functions listed in the Therap Compatibility Notebook under the Motivation tab. So you can see under Motivation, we have the different potential functions. So avoid attention staff, avoid attention others, avoid tasks and activity, obtain staff attention, obtain attentions from others, obtain items or activities, and unknown motivation. There are also definitions and examples of what that might look like. So now comes the fun part. Now we've got all of our information into Therap in the way that we need it so that we can extract that information and put it into our Excel spreadsheet. So now we're simply going to copy and paste different pieces of information from one spreadsheet into a second spreadsheet. So you'll copy and paste the names of individuals you served from the exported spreadsheet under the column name in the main tab. So you'll take it from here and you'll insert it under name in the Excel spreadsheet. So you can see we took these names and inserted them here. So when you're in that Therap Compatibility notebook, the Therap spreadsheet, you will click on main data, and that's where you're going to be entering a lot of this information. You'll have to manually enter the following information. So you'll need to manually enter the program, the month, the date, the time, and the staff who entered that information. So the next piece, you can copy and paste that program information from the Therap spreadsheet into the Therap notebook. So the program information goes in. Excuse me, I made a mistake up above. You will have to manually enter the following information: gender, day of the week, month, date, and time. You do not need to enter staff and program information. You'll copy and paste the program information from the Therap spreadsheet into the incident report spreadsheet. So you can see here it says site. You'll select that information and insert that under program. In the next column, staff will be found under the entered by column. Copy and paste this information into the staff column in the incident report spreadsheet. So here it'll say entered by. In this case, it was the University of Minnesota account, and that will go into the staff piece. The location of the behavioral incident will be found in the Therap report in two different places. The first place you can find is if you scroll to the right on the Therap Excel spreadsheet until you see location column N. You'll want to look to see if the vehicle and the program have been selected. If vehicle or program have been selected, you'll insert those information there under location. If it says home, you're going to go ahead and look at the second place where you find the majority of the location information is found when you scroll to the right further under specific location, which is column CB, which will be where you'll find things like kitchen, bedroom, outdoors. Again, we should only be entering locations into this Therap spreadsheet that are listed here. So the bathroom, bedroom, dining room, hallway, kitchen, living room, outdoors, recreation area, staircase, unknown, other, community, vehicle, or work. You'll take that information and copy and paste it into the location or column I of your Therap spreadsheet. Next, copy information from column CC in the spreadsheet and copy and paste into column J in the incident report spreadsheet. So you can see that here. Next, copy from column CH, that will be plan for future actions, into column K, motivation. Next, copy from column W, what happened before, or your antecedent, into column L in the Therap spreadsheet, which would be, in this case, transition, challenging task, staff request, or peer interaction. Next, we're looking at witnesses. So column CD, you list any witnesses that might have witnessed the potential incident. In this case, that would go under column M for others involved. In this case, we only had one time where there was a witness. Otherwise, it was only staff and the individual involved. So that's how we get most of our information from one spreadsheet into the other. Now, the trickiest part is the formulations, making sure that our formulas are matching and so that we can change the data labels so that our graphs populate themselves in the appropriate ways. So the first thing you want to do is you're going to go to the tab listed that says Data for Graph and click on that tab. Then you're going to scroll down the page until you see the row titled Individual or Program. In this case, we're going to start with the individuals. So select the box titled Barack Obama and retitle the box with the name exactly as it appears in the tab titled Main Data. So, for example, if it's all lowercase, it needs to be all lowercase. If it's uppercase and then lowercase, it needs to be uppercase and then lowercase. We need to make sure that they match, because if they don't match, it will not pull the data appropriately. So it's very important that these two things match. You'll do that for your individuals, and then you're also going to go through and do that for your program areas. So you'll do the same thing, making sure that your program areas, so for example, each of your individual residences show up appropriately under program. Then it's time to actually try to get these graphs to populate in the appropriate ways. So what you're going to do is you're going to open up the tab labeled Individual, and it should look something like this. Next, you're going to right-click on the graph to open more options and choose Select Data. If you have a Mac, it's going to be a little bit different, but you want to figure out how you can get to that place that says Select Data. You're going to select the Edit button under Legend Entries. So you can see here it says Legend Entries. When you click on Select Data, this is the page that will pop up. So we're going to edit our entries. Now you can see there's two arrows here. You're going to select that lower arrow under Series Values. Then you're going to select the entire row of data for the individuals that you want to include in the graph. So here, it's this second row under the individuals. You're going to select this data row. And then select OK, not cancel, but OK, and check to see that your graph populated with the new names. You're going to follow these same directions then to edit the names of the programs to reflect those of your organization as well. So you need to do it in two places to make sure that your graph is populating appropriately. And that is our Therap Excel Compatibility webinar. Please let me know if you have any questions or comments or concerns. I'd be happy to work with you individually to help make this something that will work for your organization. Thank you.